Friends with differences.
Friends with differences.
Friends with differences.
Friends with differences.
The Friends with Differences podcast.
Woo!
Sam,
What a time.
thank you for coming on.
Hold on.
It has been a truly enriching experience. I came in with no expectations.
Yeah.
Because you did not give me something to expect. However, this was productive.
We're just hanging out again.
This is good.
Oh.
Yeah,
We're solving the world's problems, and hopefully one day I will turn your opinion on Elon
Oh, yes. We talked about Elon Musk
Yeah.
for
for a
while.
long time.
Transgender people in sports and rights in general.
Yeah.
AI, we talked about a little bit of AI.
Which I still don't know much about. I learn very little, slowly and gradually.
But that's just part of the human experience, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know it all. I don't know it all.
Nobody can know it all, but like
I think
you just gotta be willing to learn.
I think that's it. We really stayed on very few topics this time. We didn't jump as much as we usually do.
I think we need to do a whole episode dedicated to like changing Evan's mind about Elon.
You could try all you fucking
That's what
want.
these past 7
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. There'll always be differences we can fall back on.
That's why we're here at Friends
Yep.
with Differences.
Yep. And
All
with
right.
that,
Well, cheers.
Friends with differences.
Friends with differences. Friends with differences.
To the Friends with Differences podcast.
Woo.
Cheers.
I'll say it again. Hot start.
Very, very hot start. Wow, Bullet. How do we feel about Bullet?
It's up there. I like it.
Yeah, maybe we should
Surely
start
burns.
ranking the drinks.
Start ranking the whiskey.
All right, our special guest, Sam, our good old friend
I am-
Sam.
Honored to be participating.
Welcome to the show.
I only learned of this show's existence like 4 days ago, and now I'm here.
Wait to the curb. Everybody knows about the Friends with Differences podcast.
Yeah,
Sam.
we're very good about putting it out there when we do.
Yeah, it's hard to go outside now. We're getting so popular.
Oh yeah. People are just beating down the door to the firehouse to be on the Friends with Differences podcast. They should be.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic studio.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
with our singular mic.
this
Yes.
space. Yeah, no.
Donate to us today.
You flexed. I haven't seen you in far too long, Sam. But we were catching up, and you were flexing on us because your mom's hip enough to have a podcast, and it sounds
you guys
like a weight
kinda-
cleaner setup.
You guys kind of got you're kind of late to the game, honestly.
Yeah,
She
really.
got 3 seasons.
Man.
My mom has. I think she started that podcast like at least a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years.
I can
That's
give
such a
it to
There's
you.
like
I can
there's
give it
like
to you.
seasons. Like they're in like season 3. I don't even know how many
That is
episodes
so
are in
impressive.
each season. I don't think it's
I'm
the
just
same.
learning about it.
Hold on, I'm scrolling back.
But
We're
like
finding
they've
when
been
the first one
they've
was.
been at it.
February 10th, 2021 was the first one
They've
I had
been
on
at it.
Spotify. So two over 2
2 full
years ago.
years,
Yeah, 2
yeah.
full years.
2 full years in the game. You ever thought about stepping into the ring? You ever talk to your mom like, Mom? we'll be on."
Speaking
I've
of,
never
we're talking
been-
about the Up for Grabs podcast.
The Up
Everybody
for
should
Grabs
subscribe.
podcast.
I have
Check 'em out.
yes.
We'll be in the
Check them out on
show.
Spotify up for grabs. I've actually never been invited to that podcast.
Take that
Considering
up
that
with
it
Rachel
takes
there.
place in my parents' attic house that I used to live in, I am kind of insulted that I have not been invited.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, have not been invited.
Familiar
we
with
got
the
we got
territory.
invited before he did.
Actually, yeah, no. I texted my mom while we were on our way over here.
Yes.
And she said I told her that you guys were down for a crossover episode. And
Oh, absolutely.
Come
It's
on.
been far too long.
she sent the thumbs up, so she's down if you guys
I'm
are
excited.
down.
I'm excited to check out the
I can help.
podcast.
I'll talk to her when I see her next. We'll see what we can arrange.
See if we can
You
get
gotta
that
talk
on
to
the
my agent
calendar.
first.
I
you
think-
know?
I think,
we are so popular.
Right.
You guys might have to go to their studio though. I don't.
No, that's what
That's,
I'm looking forward to.
that's
the
fine.
most. It's just like seeing how people
I think,
produce their podcast.
it's
I-
We probably
say,
can't. We probably can't roll how we roll in here though. We can't be like bringing a bottle of whiskey.
Well, their podcast is audio only. So
Right.
as long as
Wait
you
a
don't
minute.
like talk about it. Nobody.
I'm gonna be doing anything
I'm
behind the
gonna be
camera.
doing some ASMR. I'm gonna be pouring the shot like in the mic.
Right up next to the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yeah, we
I don't
really
think
need
they
to
fit
get.
that. I don't think they're doing an ASMR podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really need to get more mic
I'm adding to it,
stands
I'm
or
adding.
something. Because we have 3 of these microphones.
Well,
We
then
just
where
don't
are the
have
other
3
two?
of the other. We don't have 3 of the arms.
Yeah, they're on
So unless you want to hold the ball,
Well, and so
it's this ball.
yeah, and so
You
also
want a demo? There you go.
This is.
also with
I
this,
see
it,
why nobody wants to hold this.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to it the whole time.
also with this one, it kind of dims out some of the background noise. But we were struggling because with that one, it's catching all the feedback, so then it would echo
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta figure out. We gotta become one of those podcast groups that have like headphones on and they just have their own mics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're-
like the
That's
the
like
Rogan
I think that's the next
experience, right?
big. That's like the next big step for you is a multi-mic setup.
Yeah, I definitely got to. Well,
We
it's
want
going
to
to require sinking some money into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
You know?
again, donate
what's-
today.
which I haven't-
FriendsWithDifferences.com.
What's the budget for the Friends with Differences podcast?
The budget has been me
Alcohol.
just buying what I need to get it off the ground. You know.
Yeah. Donate to FriendsWithDifferences.com.
Yeah, we need a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
you
Go
guys
fund
need to
us.
set up like
Go fund
you
our
can set up
mics.
like a Venmo. You can set up like a Cash App. You guys got
That'd be
like
good.
you got to get some revenue streams
Oh yeah.
for this podcast.
That's true. We do need to open up avenues for people to help
Maybe get some sponsors.
help us out financially. We've been working on
Some ad
sponsors.
reads.
No, we haven't. We've just been bluffing. Haven't been working on.
I was actually.
We just show.
I was about to be really impressed. I was like, "Damn, you guys are already trying to pull down sponsors."
We should though. Yo, Wingstop, hit us up. we are big Wingstop fans over here.
We can go and just
We go back
Same
on Wingstop.
Wing-
history.
Same
Wingstop is
Wingstop
greater than
since, like-
B-dubs.
Oh, I think
It's like a decade. Is it a decade? Yo, it might.
it's
No,
not,
it's
dude, we're not-
getting
we're not that
close.
old.
2015 to 2023, so 8 years.
Oh man. Whew.
Well, yeah,
That'll
2015 to
make you feel
2016. Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be 20. It would be
Oh.
2015 because it was probably junior year
Yeah.
spring.
yeah,
2015.
you're right.
Yeah, that's wild. Almost been going to the same
Makes me
Wingstop for a
feel
decade.
so old, dude.
Us and Pete, the only one kind of missing out of the Wingstop, the true Wingstop after school
It did not
aficionados.
feel. Honestly, like when we were there earlier, it did not feel the same without Pete.
Yeah,
It just felt wrong.
he's just shredding up Chicago,
Well, getting shredded.
getting
He's
shredded,
taking, like,
shredding it up.
The Mark Wahlberg approach to like wake up at like 3:30 in the morning
Peter's out here grinding.
and ignore
He is grinding.
ignore like all all earthly
Oh,
desires.
he's tunnel visioned.
It's just work and
He's
grind.
always been.
He's a
tunnel
simple
vision,
man.
though. Yeah.
It's a
Yo,
simple
but
man
he's
with
got
simple needs.
the Lego Coliseum in his living room on like its own stand. It's such a flex. Oh my god. He doesn't have any other Lego anywhere except
It's just
a
the Coliseum.
perfectly built Roman Coliseum in the living room. It's like, alright, that's kind of cool. That's kind of awesome, Pete.
It's cool for the guys that come in. I just can't imagine like if he brings a girl back,
Oh,
she
come
sees
on
the
now.
Lego Coliseum.
Everybody knows what the Coliseum is. Dude.
That's a good talking
True.
point right there.
It is a good talking point, but you know,
Is that the Roman Coliseum? Well,
Yes.
Out of Legos.
should have got the like Millennium Falcon. You should get
Like,
just-
the
No,
Death
that's
Star,
so much
like
worse
the
than the
huge
Roman
Death Star.
no
Coliseum.
Millennium Falcon. Then you know that girl watches Star Wars, and then you're like, this is the one.
Keeper. Did you guys celebrate May the 4th at all?
I actually didn't.
No, I mean I didn't really do much, but
We
I
could-
did see the Star Wars movie recently.
We can celebrate
Revenge of the
May the 5th. May the
You need Cinco de
5th
Mayo.
be with you.
I mean,
Fit the whiskey.
I don't think I did anything. I don't think I did anything to celebrate May the 4th.
Sith. Yeah, they showed Revenge of the Sith at AMC. So we
Really?
see that. Yeah,
Damn.
it was a fun time.
Kinda
With
wish I
Mason,
would've-
shout out the Midwest Crisis. Check them out. They did a Star Wars skit on the latest podcast. It's honestly hilarious.
Really?
Yeah. Mason Foxlow, did you know Foxlow?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote out the script for him and Steven.
Damn,
It's
they did an
hilarious.
original written sketch.
Oh yeah, it's like
Wow.
it's like taking a jab at like just general woke culture for sure. You know, like what did I tweet out? I tweeted out a quote from it that was like, "You were the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the snowflakes, not join them." You know, it's a whole skit. It's great. I don't do it justice, obviously.
When are you gonna get like more creative bits like that on this podcast?
As soon as somebody starts writing, man.
Maybe that's the first order of business once you guys pull down some sponsors. Is to,
we just kind of
hire a writer.
No, I don't think we need to do that. I think the whole, I like the openness of the conversation.
Yeah.
It kind of lets the guest kind of direct the conversation almost, which just, because me and Liam could argue all day,
We could.
Oh yeah.
you know, about whatever. So it's
I
kind of
mean,
whatever
that's-
our guest brings the perspective on. No
I
pressure,
mean-
no pressure.
I mean, okay, I feel like I'm a little bit different than most other guests in the sense that like I also am used to arguing with the both of you about like anything.
Yeah, this might as well just be taking place at Wingstop, right?
Yeah, no, this is like virtually no different than like what we did in high school.
To be fair, I'm used to arguing with about everybody.
Yeah.
yeah. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Just kidding. The
I like
most
having
agreeable guy here.
Discussions.
Yeah. So man, they booted Tucker Carlson off the, off the news, you know?
I knew he was gonna.
Gotta address the elephant in the room. Yeah.
I'm just gonna miss John Oliver coming at him all the time.
I mean,
that was always the best.
I don't think that's just because he's
Yeah,
off Fox News is like
But it's-
he's not like
It's
off
because-
the table.
But it's also because he's like.
It is
on
crazy that they
mainstream.
did it though.
I mean,
Just the fact that he was like the most watched
yeah,
news
he was
anchor.
like their cash cow.
It was the number one
He was the
across
guy.
news
To be
networks.
fair,
I
there
mean, he was
a
the most
couple
watched.
cash cows before that also left. Well, they got booted.
Yeah,
Be-
I mean
because
they
there
got
was-
booted
oh,
for
God,
like
what's his name?
Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's like at Fox News, there's like an acceptable level of sexual harassment you can do,
Yeah.
but like when you're putting up Bill O'Reilly numbers, like they have to.
Is that why you think Tucker got the boot?
No, I know.
No.
No, I'm just
No.
saying like they're not afraid to like get rid
Like,
of their cash cows.
Yeah,
Like they don't really.
like you know, like
I'm not-
Fox
I'm not-
News
I have no
hosts
idea
like
what
you
Tucker
know
got.
sexually harassing interns is not like a new phenomenon, but like
yeah.
there's only so far you can go with it before even Fox is like, okay, man, you gotta stop.
So,
We can't
so
let
did
that
Tucker talk too much, and that's why he got the boot?
I
or
don't
do
think
you
that
it
they've
was more of-
actually.
I have no
I
clue.
don't think they've
know.
actually said. I think.
Yeah, I don't think they've said anything.
I saw
No,
that,
no, no.
like-
I was just talking about how they were afraid to get rid of like their top
Yeah.
guy. Like,
Right.
They're not afraid.
Clearly, they did
But
it.
I also feel like I could see Tucker probably going to like One America News or whatever that is.
Just
That's
keep
what-
posting on Twitter.
He could probably get thrown a bag.
Oh yeah,
Way in.
that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna get a bag wherever he goes for sure.
But that's like Trump. Like Fox News is kind of trying to get away from Trump a bit.
Yeah.
So like
OAN is like
OAN is like still loves.
Trump is our fearless leader, and
Yeah.
we must like bow down to him.
They're like
At
they're
every
like what if
opportunity.
you know if it was found out Trump was lying, they'd be like we would not.
But
care.
he actually, they would be
Oh,
like, well,
definitely.
he had a good reason for lying to us, so it's cool.
Yeah, that's what I would probably say.
Yeah, if he even if he did lie to us, he had a good reason.
Yeah.
So
Be like
it's fine.
yeah, I don't know. It definitely bothers me when people are like celebrating him being silenced. You know, it's like
I mean, I'm not okay. Here's the thing, like in like a normal situation, I would not celebrate just like I don't know like a journalist getting silenced. But like if you're Tucker Carlson, like I will gleefully.
Yep.
Just
I don't know
rejoice
why.
at you
So
getting
why?
silenced.
What's the
because
He
what makes
He,
it
like-
because he was on Fox?
no, it's not even that. It's just like
I mean-
he would go on and just say like the most psychotic, unhinged stuff you've ever heard.
So with the Bill O'Reilly, like when he was getting kicked,
yeah,
he like came on and basically all Tucker does is like frame stuff as questions. Like everything he says has
Yeah,
to be in
he's-
an inflection. But it was like
Right, he's good at interrupting people, and
But-
so am I.
yeah.
but it was like he said something like, "Oh, how do we know if what we do is okay? Where is the line?" or something like that. And everybody was like, "Tucker, come on now."
Or like Tucker will go on a show and say things like, "The white race is declining in population, and this is a horrible thing that we must stop." And
Well,
he's
any
the
race
most
probably declining
he's the most
is probably
watched.
bad.
Okay, well, Tucker Carlson would have you believe that the white race is declining because I don't know, white people are
Not having as many babies.
having babies. But do you know what the real reason is? It's because white
Probably the
people
lack of babies.
are having consensual sex with non-white people. That is the great replacement that he is concerned about.
Yeah, that is.
It's not that like white people are getting
That
like
seems
targeted.
very odd.
It's not like white people are getting targeted and like murdered by like the left or something. It's just they're having consensual sex with non-white people, and so their babies are then classified as not white because they're not. I mean, they're mixed race. So Tucker
he
Carlson
says that as the reason. Or,
no. He doesn't point out that like miscegenation is why, like the white race is declining because there's more people who are identifying as mixed race because their parents are not both white. Tucker Carlson frames it as though like white people are under attack.
Yeah.
Which is like
that's crazy.
It's very deliberate.
To be fair, he also says like he says like no matter what happens, they're under attack. But one of the big things he'll be like I'm not racist. I have black people that
Like,
support me, and I'm like, okay, Tucker.
That's a good line. That's not going to be clickbaited.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you just spent like 20 minutes screeching about how the white race must be saved, but like you're not racist. I get it, man. Yeah.
The crazy part. I'm sorry to interrupt. I totally just interrupted.
No,
I'm the worst. I had mental notes not to interrupt people. I would go back to the mental notes. Why I interrupted, I guess, was I guess I've seen things online and like the month leading up to him getting kicked, he was on a podcast, the Nelk podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
And he'd been rather self-critical about himself in the media and whatnot. It's like, man, I really think he was being silenced because he was talking kind of against, like, mainstream media, almost. And he was calling himself out as the problem in his past.
But, like, he is the mainstream media.
Right.
There's nobody that's more mainstream media than Tucker Carlson. So, like, how could he...
He was saying he was part of the problem.
I think that, like...
I mean, he definitely is. Yeah,
right.
I think his biggest
But I think
problem,
that's why he got booted out.
His biggest
because he was
problem
being
was
too
that...
self-critical about him in the network.
No, I think he just got too big for his britches. I think he got the propaganda down to, like, such a science that, like, the student became the master. He was too good. He was just churning it out every night, and then it got to the point that, like, when all the election stuff was happening.
So his views didn't align with Fox's views.
No, I think that Fox decided he's gone too far. Like, I think even Fox, I think they came to the realization that, like, okay, like, I don't think there's, with, like, what he's been talking about, I don't think that he can, like, reel that back in to, like, what they would consider to be an acceptable level of conservative propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah, we could get into all the Dominion stuff, but I'm really not smart enough to have any sort of real debate on
Well, do we know if he got fired or
falled out with that?
do we know if he got fired or quit? Because I can also see him having taken a bigger deal.
I don't think he quit.
Okay, I could see him taking a bigger deal.
I think he was let
elsewhere.
go.
Yeah. He probably got some money.
I got no clue.
It's not like his contract was up or anything.
No, I think what it
He
probably
didn't know
was...
he was getting...
Yeah, I don't know.
I think another thing that probably contributed to it was he kind of saw like the money that people can make at places like online conservative media outlets, like like the less mainstream ones, like we're talking like like OAN, Daily
Rumble
Wire
or whatever.
That's
What's
Rumble.
Trump? Yeah,
that's
Rumble.
that's another one. I think he was seeing the kind of money that like dudes are pulling down over there, and he was like, if I'm like the best, why am I not getting paid that? Kind of money.
He could have gone to Fox News and asked for a new contract.
And they probably told him to beat it because they just had to fork over like $780 million to Dominion in their case settlement. So like he probably went to Fox and asked for more money, and they were like, we just had to fork over damn near $1 billion. Not entirely your fault, but like not your fault for like propagating the Dominion stuff. So they probably told him like, there's no shot we're giving you a increase in your pay.
Yeah, probably also factors into like what he says and what he's being told to say. He think he's being.
Honestly like some
I
of
don't
the
think there's a script.
some of the stuff he would say on his show, I don't even think like they were telling him to say that. Because
I don't know
Not
where
all
to
of
get
it.
it from.
It certainly can't be all of it, but
no,
I don't know.
think-
Like, I definitely am, like, along the lines of, like, the mainstream media probably gets influenced in some sort of,
I mean,
you know,
like,
agenda to be pushing.
you know, like your CNNs, your MSNBCs, your, you know,
Fox.
Fox is like a little bit different because
Is it?
they're coming at it from a conservative angle, but like all of the like, you know, more liberal outlets, they all have their own agenda. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
I think they all do.
They all definitely do.
Yeah.
But Fox is really the only like mainstream media outlet that has like a conservative slant.
The thing with Fox is a lot of times they kind of let their conservatives say what they want as long as it's with the conservative party. Like they kind of like give them a little bit of free swing.
As long as you stay within like the ideological framework of like Republican thought at the time, they kind of just let you go buck wild and say whatever you want.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I don't watch Fox News, but I like watch CNN. But with liberals on CNN, you know, it's the same thing. You know, like you can go too far left, too far right, and too far left, too far right can lead you back to this like same place because it's not a straight line.
Yeah, like if a conservative were to go on like, you know, if like a conservative politician or like a House representative, senator, whatever, were to go and like get interviewed on CNN or MSNBC, would it be a contentious interview? Yeah, but like if you sit a guy like, I don't know, like Bernie Sanders, they're just as contentious, if not more so, to dudes like Bernie Sanders and the more progressive people on the left. Because I think the left views the progressives as more of an ideological threat than they do the conservatives. Because the conservatives, you can kind of just let them operate on their own, and every election cycle they'll do like, you know, the stuff that they always want to put, the various culture war stuff they want to push, like, you know, gays want to play sports and that's horrendous and we must end it, or all trans people need to be melted into biomatter or something like that. And then like normal people who like don't care about politics, they look at that and like, what are you talking about? What is going on? So like they just kind of, you let the conservatives do their own thing, and then normal people will see how unhinged they're behaving and then vote for the Democrats. The Democrats will get into power, they'll do nothing, and then people will be fed up, and then a conservative will win, they'll do, you know, horrendous, horrifying stuff, and then it's just a cycle that keeps repeating. It's just like, they're horrible.
That is how politics work.
Yeah.
So Democrats do nothing, and then Republicans get in office, and they fuck something
And
up.
then, like, at the end of the Republicans'
term,
term, all the Democrats do to campaign is just like, they just point, like, look how crazy these people are. Vote for us.
Well, when the Democrats, I mean, it works for both sides, but it's like the Democrats will get in.
The evils.
The Democrats will come in and try to undo what the Republicans did. Republicans will get into office, also try to undo what the Democrats did, and it's just back and forth.
Isn't the
back and
irony
forth.
of that kind of like, isn't it supposed to be like Republicans want a smaller government?
Oh, yeah, except when it comes to pro-choice.
You're touching into the innate hypocrisy of Republican politics, which is like, you know, we want smaller government.
We don't want government.
We don't want the government intervening
in our business.
Unless your children are trans, then we're gonna kick in your door and we're gonna take them from you and put them in child protective services.
Also, with like, you know, pro-life, they'll be like, oh, you know, keep out of our business unless you're pregnant. Then we gotta like.
Then we're gonna force you at gunpoint to have that child. That's just kind of like, I mean, that's just how it is. They advocate for, like, you know, federal government, you know, stay out of my business, but at like the personal level, they're just like, we have to know what you're doing, and if we don't like what you're doing, then you're going to jail.
I don't think that's the personal level of most Republicans, though. Most Republicans don't give a shit what you're doing, I don't think. That's like the whole point of it.
No, like
right?
the politicians themselves, no, they don't care. I mean, they're just getting their pockets lined by various lobbyists who they're lobbying their interests for.
Wouldn't that be a nice gig?
A lobbyist?
Hey, if I live in my area in 2 years, better watch out. I'm running. I'll run. I'll run. The lady in my area, her big thing that she ran on is the whole like no trans girls in sports.
Yeah,
and
like,
then there's one.
Alright, if we want to talk about that,
but there's
let's talk about it because
but there's
trans people
but
shouldn't
there's
be
but there's
top in sports. I don't think.
But there's one in Indiana. She's talking about high school sports. There's one in Indiana.
We need to prevent
making a law.
We need to prevent the
person
one
not.
trans girl who wants to play like high school soccer.
Yeah.
Like, that is unacceptable. We can't have that happen.
Yeah.
Like,
But like the collegiate level, like we go to the what's her name?
I mean,
Leah
I would raise you
Thomas.
this point. Who cares?
Right.
We're talking about college swimming.
Yeah, but I don't know. The whole like
I
going
mean, like-
into a woman's locker room with your dick, you know,
Like,
But
the Leah Thomas
I don't
situation.
think that
but
like
but
nobody is
but,
like nobody's going through transition just to like
see women.
like
make-
if you want to like
right.
walk into a
But
women's
that
life,
doesn't
if you were
justify
predisposed to wanting to do that, you
exposing
would just do it.
yourself in front of them. I mean, it doesn't, just because you're transitioning shouldn't justify, you know, just because you're going to transition shouldn't justify you being able to expose yourself right now.
But you're not exposed. You're changing in the locker
Yeah.
room. Like
You
you
should
shouldn't
expose
be.
yourself. I mean, yeah, it was a locker room, but like
changing
still,
in
biological male.
but changing in the locker room isn't exposing yourself. You're changing in the locker room to get ready for your race. That's normal.
Yeah.
They shouldn't ever be, I don't think, put in a situation where he's going to that locker room.
But why? Like you're not. You should. Like why are you looking? Like I don't know. Like it's
yeah.
their own thing. They're like that person's getting ready to go out.
I mean, like
and
if you when you like
You don't think you notice?
when you would go
like imagine
okay.
you're in the locker room at the gym, right?
Yeah.
And you're changing,
Yeah.
and a chick comes in and changes. You're telling me you're not looking?
No. Why
It's
would
not-
I care? She's changing.
You're not looking, but you'd notice, right? You'd at least notice.
But what? Why does it affect me? Like I'm just getting changed and going to the
Yeah.
gym.
I mean, it doesn't, but it's I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't know.
care.
Personally, yeah, but I don't really care. I'm not really.
Bro,
I'm not in the locker room to like look at other
So
people.
if
changing.
you have like a kid, right, and your kid,
There's old men just walking around with
yeah,
their dicks
dude.
out.
Have you ever
at
been to the fuck? Did you ever go to like the YMCA as a child? There's just old dudes just flopping it around like when you walk in there.
So I don't know.
Is that a crime? Like,
no, because he's in the male restroom, in the male locker room.
Yeah, but he's just hanging
okay,
out,
but like he's
showing his dick
exposing
to
he's
kids.
exposing himself.
It's other men.
To kids as well, based on
So
that
like
argument.
yeah,
Right, but all the parents and kids that go in there know what's going to happen.
Correct. So why does it matter?
so
Because when the girls go into that locker room, they don't know they're going to see a dude's dick.
but like
But it's not.
Leah Thomas is on the team though.
Yeah, so the
So they
problem
know-
goes back before.
They know she's gonna be in there though. Like everybody knows that she's gonna be in there. 'Cause she's
It's
on the
not
team.
like she's
But
doing
they have
anything.
to. They have to change there.
I know.
Correct, but it doesn't affect. Like she's not taking pictures.
I
Like
don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I don't know. I don't really see the.
think
You
it's.
don't see the
really-
point of not allowing people to do that.
Yeah, I don't.
What
mean,
about
I don't
if
see
you
an
go
issue.
like if we go to a different extreme, like sports is one kind of area of the transgenderism kind of topic, right? But like you go to like all male and all female prisons. There's people that switch their gender as they're being prosecuted to go to all female prisons.
That is very very rare though.
That's-
right, but
yeah.
the
Like,
opportunity is going to be there.
but like
if we let it happen,
the issue
you know?
the issue with the argument
Yeah.
is that this happens on a lot of like Republican news sites. They take one case and then say it's just going to happen all the time, and it
Yeah.
doesn't happen that frequently. Like
It's
like a big one.
it's making it seem like an outlier is the
Right.
norm.
No,
Like-
the media plays it
like
to be like so huge.
like a big one
such
for
a huge topic for affecting such a little amount of people.
a big one for like
At least right now.
anti-abortions, like pro-life, right, is always third trimester abortions. That is like such a small percentage
Yeah.
of abortions, and most of them are when the woman's life is at risk. But Republicans use
I don't
it
think
as
a
like
good argument though is that like it only happens a few times. You know.
But if those are such outliers, like you can't be using that as your key point in your
Yeah.
case. Is the argument.
That'd be like saying if I were arguing that, like, you know, if I were, okay, I'm a surgeon, you're having a surgery. There's a 0.1% chance that the surgery goes wrong. Would you immediately say that, like, well, this surgery is going to fail, and, like, every surgery you're going to do is going to fail because there's a chance that it can fail, so it's going to fail? Like, you're making, like, something that it's, like, such a small fraction of something that could happen and something that would, like, possibly happen, and you're making it seem as though it's, like, much more common than it actually is.
Like,
I think it's becoming more common
but
as a result of it being in the media so much.
But I think you just see it more.
No, I believe it's...
Because every case...
no, there's definitely a growing number of trans-identifying people.
Correct, but
Okay.
it's becoming more safe to come out.
Here's the thing.
Oh, I
Back
don't
in the
think
day,
so.
back in the day...
Back in the day, you
No,
get
I
kicked.
got this. Back in the day,
Alright.
in, like, the 40s, so we're talking way back in the day, okay? And, you know, even earlier than that. In schools, they would force kids to write with their right hand. Even if they were left-handed, they would not let you be left-handed. They would make you write
That's
with
the
your right
devil.
hand. However,
Right.
once they just stopped forcing left-handed people to write with their right hand, the percentage of people who were left-handed spiked way up. And it's not because there's just all of a sudden a ton of left-handed people walking around. It's just they were always there, but now they're allowed
Yeah.
to be left-handed. It's the exact same thing. There's always been trans people, but now it's just like it's like more acceptable for them to like be trans in public and like not have to fear for their lives.
And for me, right, on top of that, like high school sports and sports in general are a big help with mental health issues. And transgender people have the highest cases of suicide in the country.
Right.
Because they're not
So,
accepted.
like, to identify as transgender is, like, proclaiming you have gender dysphoria, right? Which is a mental illness.
Dysmorphia, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
on top
technically-
on top of it though,
I feel like we're normalizing it a little bit.
But why is that bad?
yeah.
Normalizing mental illness?
But mental illness has always been there. There's always been gender dysmorphia. They're just able to transition to the gender that they feel comfortable in. Like gender dysmorphia.
Gender is
It's the same
an expression.
thing. It's the same.
No, I
it's the same
do
thing.
believe there are genders. Like, there are two
It's the same thing
biological...
Well, sex and
scientific genders.
sex and gender are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Gender is a social construct.
Now it's a
sex is
social
bi-
construct.
No,
No,
it's always been a social
You,
construct.
again, you can go back to ancient times. Gender has always been a social construct.
Sex,
Well, like,
biological sex is not. There is male and female. That's what
Sexual preference, sure. But,
No,
like
the sex that
gender
you are,
and sex are two different things.
Yes.
All right.
Like your
explain
your
that.
biologicals, like when you were conceived, you were assigned as a male. That was your
Well, they
sex.
gave me that because I have a dick. you know?
Well, yeah, but there's also people that are born with both.
We're not
They're
talking about
born-
intersex
yeah.
people, okay? Like that's
All right, but that's
you're muddying
what-
the waters
that's-
here. That's not what we're here
That's
for.
the whole start of the conversation, though, right? Like that small percentage of people is how the whole
But it happened a lot more.
conversation starts.
But it also happened a lot more in ancient times because medicine wasn't there.
That's true.
So then in, for example, in ancient Jewish times, I think they had 4 or 5 genders in ancient like Jesus's time. Yeah, there was multiple genders.
What were the 4?
There's one that's called tum tum, which is neither. You weren't born with either genitalia. And then there was another one where you're born with both. I can't remember the name. And then there was one where you identify as another gender. I can't remember all of them though. You would have to.
So it was either male or female, neither or both.
Yeah, and then also
Right, but
switching.
that's still 2.
But
right?
also switching.
It's not like there's vagina, penis,
Okay.
and
Think about it this way.
you know,
okay.
the other third.
Think about it this way. Okay?
Sure, I'll try.
You are born as a male,
Correct.
and you identify as a male.
Yeah.
You are attracted. You are attracted to women. Correct.
Yep. Batting 1,000.
So, do you wake up and choose to do that? Do you just like choose to be attracted to women every day? Or is that just kind of
it's not
just kind of how
conscious
is
choice.
it, yeah,
no,
exactly. That's
known.
just how it is for you.
Yeah.
That's just how it is for transgender people.
Yeah. So they just.
That's just they feel as
feel-
though that like if they were born as a male, they feel as though that this is not this ain't it. This is not how it feels.
Wild.
But it's also
See, like it's hard for you to comprehend because like you don't feel that way.
Well, yeah, and it is all based on feeling. Then
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
But,
yeah. So it's like.
But why? See, the issue, right, is why the fuck does government care about like feeling? Like they shouldn't have to be involved in that.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that's what a Republican.
But then
would
again, you don't
believe.
want like a dude switching genders and being in the UFC, right? Like I would.
That's already
But
happened.
that does happen.
And he's also got
Something
knocked
about
the fuck out.
Yeah,
She got knocked the
Fallon
fuck
Fox.
out. Yeah.
She got her shit rocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she transitioned from a male to a female and got her shit rocked in the women's UFC.
Yes.
Well, okay, well, yeah. But what about? Has there been
There's been
males that transition to females?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Fallon
about.
Fox.
Fallon Fox.
Fallon Fox
Male
Male.
transition.
was a dude, transitioned to a female, fought as a female in the UFC,
got her
and
shit
got her
rocked.
shit
Wait,
pushed
ask
in.
Alexa what her record is.
Oh, yeah, I think no, it's Dawn. Alexa, what is Fallon Fox's UFC record?
This might answer your question. Fallon Fox's Ultimate Fighting Championship record is 5-1.
Damn. Yeah, 5-1. So that proves more of my point, where she's kicked the shit out of 5. He's kicked the shit out of 5
it's a
girls.
she. It was she.
It's now to she, but he was a biological male at birth, right?
But still she. She
All right,
goes
so
by
she has now kicked the shit out of 5 girls.
but still got her shit rocked. Like people
She got her shit rocked once.
okay.
Dude, like no, she got her shit rocked. Like she
I don't
broke
know.
her.
I'm not okay
she
with
broke
it. if
her
I'm being
entire
honest.
like orbital.
And then
bone.
there was also a
and that's one person. The one, like literally one.
there's also a male that transitioned
Yeah.
to be a female that was a weightlifter. She was in the Olympics, didn't medal.
yeah.
Women, like all cis women, beat her. So it's not like
Yeah, she finished,
it's not like
she
that.
finished like last.
Yeah, but it's not like they have a statistical
So
advantage.
you
You're taking
you don't believe
hormones.
that.
You're taking hormones 12 months prior. You can't just
That
do it
sounds
right away.
almost similar to like taking steroids. If I'm being, like, I don't know.
Well, you're getting rid of your testosterone level.
Yeah.
Your testosterone level is dropping.
Like
Versus
hormone
women-
replacement therapy.
So do
is
you-
like,
Women
you
in women's
think that,
sports
like,
take testosterone to
There's
boost.
any physical advantage to being a guy compared to a girl? Like
I mean,
in these competitions and whatnot?
what competitions? Like, what are we talking about?
Kind of every competition, like basketball, football, UFC,
No.
golf, tennis.
No.
You don't think there's just men have physical
Dude, okay,
advantages? What
you
about like
you get
jiu-jitsu?
me okay no you get me one-on-one with Angel Reese right now, she would cook my shit. Okay, she would absolutely destroy me. I would have no shot.
It's true.
But that's like, so I hear often the argument of like Serena Williams will kick the men's tennis high rankings ass.
She would.
No, she wouldn't.
They did it. They've done a men's versus women like
Right.
thing, and the woman won.
No.
Billie Jean
Serena
King.
Williams did this. She played the 203rd ranked man, and she lost like 6-1.
Okay, but
Okay, Billie Jean King. Who did Billie Jean King?
she played. She played one of the men.
Serena
and
Williams has admitted that the guys' tennis is like a different ball game. Like it's a lot more competitive, and it's hilarious because people so often fall back on the argument that like she would kick guys' ass when she has admitted herself that that's not true.
But it's also the difference in play. Like for example, women's soccer is much more physical than men's soccer is.
Huh?
Like
That's surprising to me.
Like they will stomp on people's like they will literally, like, they don't care. My cousin's wife, she played soccer in college. there's literally a picture of her grabbing a defender and literally throwing her over her and body slamming her to the ground.
God damn.
No card.
No card.
In men's soccer, you will be sent off almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I remember watching one of my sister's basketball games with, like, in grade school, and like she's always been very small and she's very competitive.
Yep.
So
Fiery redhead. I can see
yeah, for sure. Anyway, she kind of got flipped playing basketball,
Yeah.
and then they called a foul on her.
Yep.
It was like, I'm, you know.
different, but it's also just different styles of play in all sports. I mean, it's just kind of how it works. You know, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a difference there. I don't think we're going to come to any sort of agreement here, to be honest.
I mean, I guess that's why we're on Friends with Differences.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
That's
I
why
think.
we're on Friends with Differences.
Yeah.
I just don't really care.
Yeah,
Like, I think
I spend too much
That's
time
a
on
fact, man.
social media, which is the only reason I care, because I'm, just digesting way too much of this rubbish content, on
I mean,
Twitter and YouTube.
that's just
and
like, I mean, that doesn't surprise.
it makes it more of a
that's-
problem
but-
than it is.
but
Yeah.
but I also think right, some of the social media influencers that are trans, right? They're shitty people, but that is also common for all social media influencers
Yeah.
to be shitty people.
Yeah, that's not like
So-
that's not the concept
no,
that's like exclusive to trans influencers.
but it's also like the issue is a lot of people will take like very couple like examples and like generalize it to the whole group, and it's just like, yeah, there are gonna be some guys that transition and do horrible stuff, but they aren't really a part of that trans community. Like,
Yeah.
they're just fucking terrible people.
Like if you framed it around like a different community, for instance, like if you said, I don't know, like statistically speaking, the people who are most often pedophiles are like middle-aged white guys. Do you think all middle-aged white? Are you afraid? Like when you see a middle-aged white man, are you like fearful that he might be a pedophile? There you go.
Yeah.
And that is the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think one of the kind of further right arguments is like this acceptance of, the whole trans ideology, and I don't know, a lot of the just gender practices is like it opens the door to more pedophilia like.
But
You're
Yeah.
okay. You're sounding a lot like that is something that you hear a lot. Is that like
Right,
oh,
I'm
it's
just trying to
it's
generalize
a,
what
it's
I'm
a slippery
seeing,
slope. It's a slippery slope that leads to like
yeah.
whatever. But like, it's not.
I mean,
It's not.
the argument a lot of times from the right always tends to be like, oh, we shouldn't see this like in our schools or whatever, right? But it's like,
Right.
but it's also like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be talking about
Like-
sex. Like, you literally just talk about, oh, this person is trans or this person is gay.
Yeah, like when
Like,
you
there's nothing wrong with
Like,
a
when
boy
you
liking a
see-
boy or a
yeah.
girl liking a girl. But the Don't Say Gay bill is all about, like, oh, our children shouldn't see this in our schools because, like, they don't need to learn about sex this early. And it's like, but being gay isn't, like,
yeah like
always a sex
no like
thing. They're
just
living
because
lives.
yeah like I think a lot of it
Wait,
revolves
wait.
around like conservatives will associate like gays or anybody really that falls into the LGBTQ community as like inherently sexual when like nobody, absolutely zero people think of like straight people that way.
I mean,
Like if you're walking down the street and you see like a guy and a girl holding hands, the first thing that comes to your mind is not like, I bet they like smash all the time. I bet they do
It's
like
not.
nasty
No, I'm
shit.
just kidding.
but and it's like,
I don't know. I think it also. I'm sorry to interrupt.
go on.
But that also seems to be a point where people kind of shy away from the conversation. But like being trans, like people don't want to associate being trans with having to do with any sort of sexuality. But it,
No,
Has-
not sexuality, just like
Like the act of
sex in
sex
general. Because their whole argument,
Right.
correct. Being transgender doesn't have to do with sex necessarily.
It
It's
has everything to do with sex.
the not sex as in the act of sex versus sex as in
The biological construct.
Yes. Has to do with gender, first off.
Sex is not the same as gender. Because I didn't have
But I
gender.
think the motivation goes down to sex, right? Like sexual preference.
I mean, not
No.
necessarily, no.
I mean, it just has to do, like, for little kids, right? They just need to know that these people are in the world, right? And they're
Why do
going
they
to
need
see
to know
them.
that?
And
Why don't
Because
they
they
though?
exist.
They exist.
Right,
They're a part
but,
of the
like,
world.
But
Well,
why
like-
do you have to know about everything? Like,
Because
I
little
don't
like
know.
because they're they're fed a lot of shit. I mean,
I think you like what you absorb, especially as a kid. Just what's around you will dictate a lot of what you become. So, I don't know. Not to say that they shouldn't be around kids or anything, but I think parents definitely have
but that whole
the
that
say on whether they want their kids to be around.
but that whole thing though
somebody
is
who
also
has an agenda
that,
to
but that goes in
talk about any sort of transgender or gender.
but that also gets into
Topic.
like, you know, racist things, right? If you're only
Does
around
it?
white people, you can like
Yeah.
you'll not see black people
But this
as
is
people.
this is like sexual preference and sexual identity compared to like race.
It's gender identity.
All right,
But-
gender identity.
but it-
compared to
but it
race,
doesn't-
which is
but-
two
but it-
entirely different.
But it doesn't
subjects.
even have to do with sex. You just have to know that there are people that
That exist.
That exist.
I guess I don't believe you have to know.
But why not? Because then
But-
they don't get treated
No, you should have to
equally.
explain why you think everybody has to know.
Because people don't get treated equally if they're not seen.
Yeah.
Like for example,
Well,
right?
No, then
For-
I think
no,
you just failed as a parent because they're not treating everybody on base equally.
no, for example, right? In sports, which is a big one, sports was the first big equalizer for black people in this country. So if trans women can't, Jackie Robinson was in the 50s.
Right, but like, what about like the right to vote? You know,
That
Like,
was
it's-
way after. That was in the 60s.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
Holy shit! That's crazy. All right, go
Yeah.
on.
But so Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, and that became a huge thing because their league had to be separate. People didn't see it. So
There's something I didn't realize. It was, you know,
so for
people in the MLB that were black and black people still couldn't vote. That's so crazy.
Dog, they fought in World War II and they couldn't vote. They got drafted for a war. They got drafted to fight for a country that they could not vote
yeah.
for their own representation.
So
Yeah,
for
that's
example,
crazy.
keeping
That's so crazy.
for me, what I see is keeping trans people from playing sports is stopping people from seeing them as equal.
Yeah, because I mean, if you create like
Yeah.
the trans league, you're just doing the Negro League, but for trans people. It's the same thing.
It's separating,
Yeah,
and it's not separate but equal.
Exactly.
It's not going to be separate but equal.
Then there should just be sports, right? There's no men's and there's no women's sports. There's no point of having those two differentiating factors. It should just be sports.
That's not the same.
But that's where this argument goes to, right?
That's,
Like if you can just go from one league to the other,
but nobody's doing that.
but you're saying
Literally
they should be able
nobody's
to.
doing that.
No.
They are not transitioning.
They do not.
They're not transitioning for the purpose of sports.
All right, there
Nobody's
was a
doing that.
Canadian weightlifter, right? The female Canadian record for weightlifting was broken by a trans identifying woman.
Okay.
And then the 10-year coach of the Olympic team identified as a female and crushed the record by like 50 kgs or whatever.
Okay, but
Okay.
And so
Put him in
like
Olympic
he
competition.
did it just to make a point that anybody could do it.
Okay. You're talking about.
And so this
You're talking
big-ass
about
bearded
Canadian
dude.
weightlifting records, dog.
But you
Who
also,
cares?
but you also,
Every other weightlifter in Canada
But
that's
also-
a female that has worked super hard.
That's
to
just not an.
fight
It's
in the
just like it's
competition.
not like it's
But
not
that's
an
being
issue.
crushed.
but also,
It's
it's for
not an
Olympic
issue.
competition.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
to be taking
Oh yeah, no.
stuff for a
The
year before
IOC has
competition.
very
A
strict
year
regulations.
before you start competing.
If you're a trans athlete, the IOC has very.
They have to
strict
check your
hormone
testosterone
regulations that
levels.
you
They have to check
abide by.
everything. Like they, it's not. They make sure
And
the playing field
okay,
is
the IOC
equal.
actually they recently banned trans women from competition, right? There's
The
a
IOC is what?
the
International
International
Olympic
Olympic Committee.
Oh, gotcha.
there is a female runner, I believe she's from South Africa. I think she's like a sprinter. I can't remember what her name is, but she is a cis woman, born a woman. She is a woman, and she has naturally high testosterone, and her testosterone is too high, so she has to take hormone. Like she has to undergo hormone therapy that like trans people have to go through because her testosterone's too high.
Okay.
So like, it's
That's
not
crazy.
yeah. So it's not just like, it's not just an issue that can like only target like the 5 trans athletes who want to compete in the Olympics. It's just like it's an issue that can affect cis people.
And being able to see people like for trans teams, right? To be able to see people like in the Olympics that look like them, right? It's a big deal. Like
To
seeing
them.
them in sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so banning in sports in general is a sign to make them not equal. It just is. Sports is a big equalizer.
It kind of all goes back to the argument of like, I think biological men will outshine biological female in sports if they were put on the same court. You guys
Okay,
don't.
let's get Angel Reese and you on the same court.
Well, I'm not saying I'm equal to them, but
But it. Okay, so then
That's
which?
like
But
saying-
but now
then you're just saying that like specific biological men are better than specific biological
I'm
women.
telling you, the top of the top, the best. You take the best
But
team in
They're
the
world
NBA.
class athletes,
The
dog.
best
What
team,
the fuck are you talking
You're
about?
going to put the best team in the NBA against the best team in the WNBA, and you're not going to bet on the team in the NBA? Are you telling me that?
Dog.
Because that's
You're
what
doing
you're telling
Brittany
me.
Griner and DeMarcus Cousins shit, dog. It's just like
It's just a fact. Though.
it's a distraction from the point. Like it's
no,
it's
it
a
is the
distraction.
point. It is the point. At the best,
But the
most elite
best
level,
of the best of men's aren't going to transition just to be the
Just
best
to
of
because
the
they
best.
don't
of
have
men.
to be, because they can be
But then-
top
but the-
300, and then if they transition, they're going to be the best female, and that's the problem. I'm sorry, but
It's
that's.
not a problem though because it's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have specific instances besides that.
Exactly.
Because it's not
no
happening.
specific
But that
instances.
Canadian one was a specific instance.
Yeah, but are they in the
And
Olympics?
Leah Thomas is like definitely a specific instance.
She's not in the Olympics. She's not doing
Right, but it's
anything.
sports. It's competitive sports. It's the NCAA.
And like, what
She's not being a professional.
She's not making. Is she making money off of that?
I don't know. But it's still
It's-
like in the
It's
the
women's.
nature of
it's women's
sports and
swimming.
fair competition is what I'm talking about.
Okay, but the big argument for Leah Thomas as well is that she was 150th in men's. She was also taking hormones during that time
Yeah.
to
Okay.
to make her
To make the transition.
to make the transition. So
Okay.
so she was already transitioning. So people are always putting this whole like men's swimming on her, but we have no idea how good she would have been in men's swimming.
Besides the fact that she was 150.
On hormone replacement
yeah.
therapy. HRT is very intensive. Like it
How long
takes.
have you been on it?
I have not been on
Just
it.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Although I know that it's like it's like
I'm
a
sure.
very intense process.
Taking anything, I'm sure, is intense. It's kind of wild how normalized taking something is regularly. You know, like that episode of Rick and Morty where they just, just eat pills for all their meals. That's where we're going, man. Hold on, I gotta hit it.
Coincidence?
The-
I think not.
I mean, at this point, I mean, like, there's no point in worrying about like,
I'm just trying to
you're
get
gonna
canceled.
eat, you're gonna you're gonna eat pills for all your meals. Like, I don't think we're gonna survive long enough for that. Like,
When do you think Doomsday is coming? If you think there's a Doomsday on the horizon here.
I think that definitely by the end of this century, it's gonna be over.
Well, I plan to live through this century.
Well, unless you can find a way to make like 2-degree temperature rise habitable.
Unfortunately, I think
2 degrees, I could probably live.
2 degrees Celsius. 2
Yeah.
degrees Celsius.
Oh, well, what's the conversion of that? That conversion always...
But
Messes
unfortunately,
with my head.
I think what the issue is with like that is I feel like what's going to
What, the
happen.
difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit?
No.
No, okay, sorry.
Talking about climate change.
What's gonna happen is we're at 8 billion people, right?
Something like that.
But the
Yeah.
people that are gonna get affected
Last
the
time I counted.
most are in countries
The
that
third
aren't
world.
as wealthy.
The global south.
Which
The
then,
third world.
in turn, will unfortunately balance the scales in a way, but because the U.S. won't give a fuck still, like, we'll still continue to pollute like we do.
Yeah.
And then it won't.
At a certain point, as the global south becomes more uninhabitable, there will become a certain point where, like, those people, in an effort to survive, will start to migrate towards places that are still habitable. So, like, shit is
You're
gonna...
worried about the immigrants.
I'm not worried about the immigrants, but I'm saying that,
Yeah,
like...
I'm just trying to
I'm
make you
saying
look bad,
I'm
I'm
saying
sorry.
that, like, there will come a point where, like, we have to decide, like, what, like, the world is already kind of, it's already kind of, like, fucked beyond repair. So, like, how are we going to make this work? And I don't think anybody has any interest in, like, actually trying to figure that out. I think they just feel
I
content
think it's
to pass
more
the
of
buck.
a tool that's used to strike fears in the heart of the public.
And the
Climate
ice
change?
caps are definitely melting.
Yeah,
Rising
generally
sea
climate
levels.
change.
Like
I
Venice
think-
is sinking.
Like, you
And,
hear about
like-
it so remarkably much, and there's so little policy change, and there's just like...
But that's
Dog,
in the
there's
US.
never going
That's
to
in
be...
the-
There's never going to be...
Right,
policy
right.
change.
So what's the point of talking about it so much?
Because it's a huge issue.
Because we-
Right, but...
you
We need policy
for
change.
for Republicans, right? The whole issue is immigrants. The amount of immigrants that would come in if a country goes underwater, which like Indonesia is looking like it might go underwater in the next
Hawaii's
20,
probably
30
gonna go
years.
underwater.
Hawaii might go underwater. Venice is going
Unless it
underwater.
erupts, and then it's just going to grow.
Miami's going underwater.
Hopefully California
Like-
goes underwater.
Or not.
They're
So
the
what if
ones that
that
would make,
doesn't
they're
happen?
the ones that would be
You know,
making
we
the
just
change.
live with it.
Sam. It's-
Yeah.
So we need another ice age or something?
I don't think we're gonna be what?
the land is just going to disappear.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm definitely not as
Fresh
scared
water
of
is
climate
going to
change as I think most people are.
Because we'll be dead. The next generation is the one that's fucked.
yeah, no, they're super fucked.
I don't know. I like, in my mind, it's like, well, there's probably like a meteor that would, destroy us before like it becomes so hot it's
we could
uninhabitable.
only hope, dude. We could only hope.
Nah, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna
Have another,
escape this
like-
planet. I'm a believer in the old Elon.
I don't
Oh,
want to escape the
do
planet.
not-
We fucked it.
Do
We
not
fucked
get me started on Elon, bro. If my choices were to survive on Mars or die on this rock, I'm choosing this rock because I will
Yo, I'm-
not owe my life to Elon Musk.
Dude, honestly,
Fuck
Elon
Elon
Musk,
Musk.
He's
one of the most
such a
inspiring
loser,
people.
dude. Shut
to me,
up.
honestly.
Shut up. Come on.
He's big Elon. This is actually one of the fights that created this podcast.
Shut the
because
fuck up.
I fucking hate Elon.
He
And
is
I get
such a fail
Inspired
son,
by him.
dude.
Honestly, I don't know
What? Okay, hold on.
Somebody who is more inspiring.
Stop.
that's
What?
More inspiring?
that's alive today.
What about him inspires you?
That he pursues his ideas so wholeheartedly.
Do you mean his employees?
No, his ideas. I mean, he's
He also doesn't go after them
He's
wholeheartedly.
so-
He has ADHD. He'll
Shut
just
up. Don't slander his name. I'm making a point here.
he
Dude,
pops out
He
of the
is
next.
so ambitious, and he's willing to go down routes
His employees are
nobody
ambitious.
else.
He was also a
is willing to go down.
multi-millionaire son. His family's from Emerald Wealth.
Yeah, he
His parents did
He
despicable
didn't
things in
have
South
daddy's
Africa.
credit card.
Despicable.
He had daddy's emerald mine.
No, I think he came to the continent with thousands of dollars.
No.
All right, but that's what he says.
Okay, of course.
Because
he
he's
says that.
lying to you. You're
So-
talking about a dude who was forced to purchase Twitter, has seen its value
Well, he.
sunk in half in the 3
Well,
months.
that's
that he's been
another
in
point
charge?
because it's been said on this podcast that there's been a decrease in number of overall Twitter users, which isn't true. There's actually a 4% increase in active users.
Yeah, because people can create fake accounts and get them
No,
verified.
Yeah,
It's
because
not.
you can pretend to be Eli Lilly and make their stock price sink by make them lose $1 billion in market share, all for the easy price of $7.99. Sounds like a good return to me.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
$7.99 to tank.
He's also
to tank one of the biggest pharma giants.
He's also a serial inside trader. Serial inside trader.
He's also like one of the most pathetic narcissists I've ever seen in my life.
You like on Twitter, him saying, everybody buy this specific coin makes him money.
Why is
Who
he?
would you say,
Why is he still?
Is there anybody you would specifically point to as the most inspiring person alive right now?
Alive right now?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. Certainly not. Elon
For me,
Musk.
it's Elon Musk.
I would still say
Quite
Pope
literally,
Francis
it's
is higher.
wait,
and I don't
Pope
even
Francis is
I don't
higher.
even like Catholicism, but Pope Francis is
Is higher.
100%. Pope Francis at least
He's
admits
inspired you how?
he at least admits that the Catholic Church is fucked up. He admits that climate change is a thing.
Yeah.
He at least
Not only that climate change is a thing, but like maybe we should do something. About
yeah,
it.
like
I don't
he
know,
also talks about how the Catholic Church really shouldn't be focused on premarital sex being an issue.
I think it's just hilarious that you find him the most inspiring.
I find him
person
more
too.
inspiring. I'm not saying he's the most inspiring. He's
Well, that
more
was the
inspiring
question.
than Elon Musk.
Who do you find the most inspiring?
Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. She uses her money to donate
Yes.
to tons of charities.
She got the bag. Good for her.
Yeah. Marcus
That's
Rashford.
so
Marcus
lame. I'm
Rashford.
sorry.
Okay.
No, but he also made sure that British
that's
people
so
during COVID, British kids, got fed.
Okay.
That
that's
worked.
respect- Yes.
He's got MB. I mean, there's so many people that are more respectable to
I
me
just
than Elon
don't
Musk.
understand why you think Elon is so inspiring.
Because generally people proceed with the assumption that we have everything figured out. And
I don't think anyone does that.
Alright, but people aren't trying different solutions the way Elon Musk is
Different
trying.
solutions to what?
Well, he revolutionized the way internet transactions work. He has
He got fired from that.
revolutionized.
He
Well,
did
he's
get
tried
fired
to
from that.
revolutionize the transportation industry in multiple different ways.
Doing-
Not the CEO.
He's
No,
trying to
how?
go
No,
to
no,
a
no,
different
I'll-
planet. He's trying to inhabit a different planet. If
Because
anybody-
we fucked this
Because
one
we
up.
because we fucked this one.
So you're gonna blame him?
Why do we deserve another planet to fuck up?
Because we're alive and we can try?
But
Because who else is supposed to get off the planet?
nobody should. We fucked it. It should just end.
It would have
No,
totally
it should
been.
not.
It would have
Humanity
totally.
should not just end.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
we were given one
we
planet.
had a shot.
We fucked
and
it.
we fucked it. Yeah. Well.
No,
I mean,
me
like,
and my family,
corporate
we're
giants
going.
fucked
We're
us.
going
Yeah,
to Mars.
sure, but
Peace out, y'all.
you really
guys can stay here
think he's
and,
gonna bring
sit on the coast when it goes
But
under?
you really think he's gonna bring a middle class person? He's bringing the
He doesn't. He
billionaires.
doesn't fuck with you. He doesn't know you like that, little bro. He doesn't know you like that.
Hell, we'll know each other someday.
He will only bring the billionaires that he likes,
Yeah.
and they'll be the only
Well,
ones to repopulate
Probably
humans.
initially, and I don't think.
And they're the
I don't
worst
think
of
it's
the
gonna be
worst
like that,
humans.
though. Because it's not going to be like, oh, go there. Billionaires want to go there because it's
More
gonna be
natural
fucking
resources that they can
hard.
extract.
It's gonna be a fucking hard fucking
Billionaires
civilization.
are running out of resources to extract from this planet, so I think that's why Elon might be looking to another world. Is because it's rife with resources for the extracting, and I think
he's
he
just
wants to be
so
at the helm of
hopeful
that.
for the future. You guys are blind to it.
What is he hopeful? I mean, he also fucked up California's public transportation system.
I mean, like,
No.
we're talking about somebody who sucks at the teat of the government.
Yeah.
Like, nobody. If Elon did not have
He was
if
the only
Elon,
electric company that
no,
didn't
no, no, no,
declare
no, no.
bankruptcy and get
Shush.
saved by the
If
government.
Elon did not have government subsidies, none of his companies would exist. None
He
of
was
them.
the only car company that didn't get subsidized in 2008, right? He was the only, like, GE even got subsidized by the government. And Tesla didn't.
Yeah, but Tesla in 2008 was
Yeah.
nothing.
Tesla wasn't a thing.
No, it was struggling to become something.
Okay, but that doesn't. You can't compare him with this small ass company to GM, which is this
To GM
massive fucking
15
corporation.
years ago. You're bringing up 2008?
Nobody knew what a
Brother,
Tesla was.
I was like 9 years old in 08. You're bringing up 08? That's not relevant now.
And he's not even the
So
CEO at
if you're
Tesla
gonna bring
anymore.
up
He's not the
our
CEO.
companies being subsidized,
No, I'm talking about him being subsidized. And nobody,
specifically the person.
nobody gets government subsidies like the way Elon does.
Didn't they pay the most taxes in history last year?
Oh my god, dude, I think you're giving me brain disease.
I'm just saying, isn't that a fact? Didn't he pay the most personal income tax? Or
Brother, he doesn't make his money off income. It's wealth. It's capital gains. It's not income.
yeah,
He buries his money in the stock market specifically so he can avoid paying income tax.
Also stopped bullet trains from coming to California, so I'll never forgive him for that.
I just want high-speed rail, man.
I know. That's what
hey,
he
to
stopped.
be fair, so does he.
No, he doesn't.
He
He
does.
just wants a different one than you.
He wants it for him to get paid.
Yeah, he wants...
That's not high speed rail. That's not public transportation. That's
You're
private transportation.
Yeah. You guys are
That
like
I would get
so
paid.
sold on the fact that he's like the boogeyman, though. Like
He's a fucking billionaire.
It's
They're
not
all.
even, it's not even that
Yeah,
he's the
you have a
boogeyman.
problem
He's just lame
with
as fuck,
billionaires.
dog. Like, he's a grown man, like... who not only owns Twitter, but he's like...
He gets owned on
He's
Twitter.
like... Okay, well, he does get owned on Twitter. But he, like, is just... He spends most of his time on Twitter, like, just pining...
most of his time.
Most of his time on Twitter, he spends, like, pining for the validation from his dick riders. That's what he does.
He does love his dick riders.
Hey, me too when I'm posting. Hey, follow me at Hammond_cheese.
No.
At
If you're posting
Best
about Elon,
Collabs,
you're talking about Elon,
at
I'm not
Friends
following
with
your Twitter.
Differences. All three of those accounts I have on Twitter. Yeah, I like Twitter.
Another one I find
Elon.
more.
You guys won't shake me on my opinion.
John
of Elon
Green
because
is a
I
better
believe
person.
To be more educated than I think you guys are on the subject.
Are
of
you an
Elon.
Elon dick rider?
He is.
Is this an intervention?
Yo, like I said,
He
I
likes
find
the
him-
idea. He
quite
likes.
literally, I know you can't identify as a person that you think is the most inspiring, but he's the most inspiring figure I know. Like,
How?
I'm
That's so
thinking
sad.
Elon Musk as like the Muhammad Ali standing.
Oh
over-
my God!
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but
Absolutely not.
honestly-
Do not compare him to Muhammad Ali. Oh no. No.
I have that much respect.
This will get you
and he
canceled.
inspires me that much. He does.
You have respect for Elon Musk?
Yeah, I think I think you would too if he was here because
I wouldn't.
yeah,
I
you
would
wouldn't-
love to
No, I
roast
think your
Elon
tail
in
would
his
go in
face.
between your legs.
No, I would say what I say
Tail
right
go
now.
between my legs, dog. He's like my height.
Dog.
He's like there's literally he's like paler than me. There's nothing intimidating about Elon Musk.
Liam, I'm just saying, if it's you or Elon on this show, I'm just saying, I don't know if you're going to be in here. I'm
That's
just kidding.
fine. I don't want to be there with him.
I think that says
What?
more about
Are
you
you
than it
kidding?
does about Liam.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I will be
I wouldn't
long
want you
gone.
Oh,
disrespecting him, while he was at the Gingerhouse.
That's
I couldn't allow it.
Again, fine.
Speaking
I
of
wouldn't
Elon
want to
Dick
talk
Rider
to
right
him.
now.
I'm a fan.
I wouldn't want you
Like I said.
disrespecting my lord in the Gingerhouse. Like, okay, dude. Are you gonna bow?
I
to his
just don't
feet?
understand. He got fired from PayPal. He's not the CEO at Tesla because he fucked
He
shit
got
up.
bought out for sure. He didn't get fired.
He got fired.
He got pushed out by the board because he was making reckless decisions.
Alright, but he got bought out.
But that's all CEOs. That doesn't have to do with actually being good at your job. Like you get parachute payments.
And
That's a thing you're taught. It's a golden parachute. It's like $20 million.
Like CEO is not a job.
Correct.
It's not. It's just
But you can also be shit at it still.
Oh yeah, you can still be bad at it. Which, like, I think is the most interesting thing about billionaires like Elon Musk is like you've gotten to the point of capitalism where you get to like live your life on autopilot and you're still fucking it up. I don't know how. How are you
He
doing
doesn't want to
something like
live
that?
on autopilot. He wants to go to fucking
Well,
Mars.
it's not good. Dude, he's lost like $20 billion in like the last 3 months. Maybe he should go to autopilot.
I hope he just goes to Mars. I don't have to hear about him again.
I would love for him to get into a SpaceX rocket to Mars so we never have to hear from him again.
I hope he goes to Mars. Doesn't
Me
say
too.
anything for 2 years. Then
Make
he
it
comes
5.
back.
Make it
And there's
5.
like a
Make it
huge
10.
civilization.
I hope
everybody just
I hope in
is
those
such a fan.
2 years I have ceased to live because I would not want to be there.
Why is Elon still the CEO of Twitter? Remember he did that poll and said,
He-
I get voted.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I get voted, if you vote me down as a CEO, I'll step down. That
Yeah,
was
he
like
got
a couple
voted
months
down.
ago. He's still the CEO. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know,
He
man.
blamed bots. Do you remember? He blamed bots. He goes, bots got into my vote.
No, dog. It's just nobody likes you except your small legion of dick rushers.
Yeah,
Hammond's,
man. I'm a big fan.
I'm really sad now.
This is what started. This
was
was a 2 hour. This was a 2 hour fight.
This is the
between
first
them and
time
I.
that I've ever heard like an L take from you, but that's like,
No, this is gonna age beautifully. I'm very confident.
bro, it hasn't aged beautifully as of now. You're talking about you're idolizing a dude who like slashed his net worth in half.
If you want to look at a billionaire that like is more inspiring, you could look at Steve Jobs, who was a fucking asshole, but he was a good
Why
CEO.
don't I look to him then? Because
But he's a good CEO.
Elon's not an asshole.
Elon.
What are you talking about? He's definitely an
1000%
asshole. Remember, like,
That's why his
hey,
like.
hey.
Remember his like daughter disowned him after transitioning.
Remember that one time, that soccer
No,
team
no,
got
no,
trapped
that
in a
was
cave
family.
in Thailand.
Oh, yeah, then he
and that
called
one
the
diver,
pedophile,
that
yeah.
one diver went to go save him. He called the diver a pedophile.
Yep.
And
Because
then
he beat him
the
to
diver took him to court, and Elon still won. And his defense was, "Oh, pedophile is just like a thing that we say in South Africa." And the judge was like, "Seems legit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're
What
good."
are you talking about? Elon said that?
Yeah.
I do not believe you.
He-
You don't have to sell a specific quote if you're calling him a pedophile.
No. He
literally said
accused
it.
another person of being a pedophile with
Alright,
no
well
evidence
then, yeah,
whatsoever.
he's against pedophilia. I'll back that.
He didn't have evidence of it. He just accused
he said
a
it-
random guy.
He said it because
In
he
the
saved
public
the children
forum.
before Elon could.
So there were
Elon had an
kids. There
issue
were
with
kids that
somebody.
were like, it was like a soccer team or
Yeah.
something that were like trapped in a cave in Thailand. Okay, Diver went in, try and get him out, and he did end up getting him out. Elon offered like a submarine that they could use to like get the kids out, and the diver said like, "Hey man, the cave's not really big enough for us to use that, so that's not gonna work." And then Elon took that as a personal slight and called him a pedophile. And then
Yeah,
the
that doesn't sound
judge
good.
ruled in his favor.
'Cause he
When
got
the
money.
guy
Well,
when the guy that Elon accused of being a pedophile in the public forum with zero evidence whatsoever, Elon won the case because his
Could we maybe
defense
have
was
the facts wrong if we're disagreeing with the judge?
No.
what?
It's
No.
a
Hey,
judge.
the
It's also a
ruling-
judge. It's also a judge in the Philippines where giving bribes is very frequent.
I mean, like bribery is legal in America. It's called lobbying.
Correct. But bribery in Central and South America
Oh, yeah,
and
no.
Philippines is
That's
like,
not. It's not.
It's how
lob-
you get business done.
It's not lobbying. It's just bribery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. I don't know that specific story, and I don't know. Yeah, that sounds personable, and yeah. That
Or we can
sounds
talk
bad.
about how he said private funding secured, and then the company or the PIF, the Saudi Arabian PIF, took their private investment fund money from Tesla and put it to his rival because then he, lost his job in Tesla as the CEO.
Oh yeah, and when he had to
Removed from
secure
the board.
funding for Twitter, do you know who he went to? The Saudis.
Yeah, the Saudis.
So like you're
Well,
you're
you know
like
where the
you're
money's at,
you're,
right?
you're like your idolized figure is like a bitch to Saudi oil barons and the Saudi royal family. He's their lapdog. He's their bitch.
And also
Yeah, I don't think
being
that
their
necessarily-
bitch means that he will never actually solve anything with that will stop.
Y'all
And
oil.
he will
can poke
never speak
at-
out against
at
them.
his business interactions.
I can poke holes in nearly all of them.
Right, but you're never gonna like shake my general admiration for him
And that's a
because
tragedy.
he's so keen to like
No,
revolutionize.
Brother,
industries.
he's keen to attention. He is not. He has zero interest in revolutionizing
attention?
electric
100%.
cars
100%.
or like whatever fucking tunnel he constructed in like was it Vegas or was it L.A.? I don't remember.
It was at L.A. because
He has no personal interest in like revolutionizing any of that stuff. He just
That's
wants
like
the
his
attention.
solar panel business. Have you seen his solar panels?
No.
By far, like as somebody in the
Is he
field of
revolutionizing solar
architecture-
panels?
Yes.
Is
of
he
course
revolutionizing car tunnels too?
He's revolutionizing. Well, car tunnels is a harder argument. Solar panels is so easy
Because it's a tunnel.
well, no, because you have to believe in the whole idea that the whole 3D grid.
The
of
reason
traffic
why he
is more
built
productive.
tunnels is because he has a car company that he works for and makes
No,
money on
because
their
he
stock.
hates traffic. Genuinely.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
You think that motherfucker sits in traffic? Brother, he is jetting around and
He
he
used
doesn't
to.
drive cars.
He used
dude.
to, and traffic bothered him so much. Just the,
Have you seen the traffic jams in the tunnels?
Yeah, the cars go like 20 miles an hour. They're just inching along, like they're idling along in the tunnel.
I think he saw a systematic problem
And made
with
it
the
worse.
And
ways-
tried to privatize it.
Yeah.
with the way the
You
infrastructure
cannot
of our
solve.
transportation
No,
is. And
Hammonds.
so he tried
There
to
is
come up
something
with
you
a
need to
different
understand
way.
here. You cannot solve
To map out the
systemic
urban planning.
problems with privatization. That's just not how it works.
Well, there has to
It
be somebody
only
offering
breeds more problems.
You're not going to come up with a solution. You're not going to get the solution in effect if it doesn't exist, right? You have to.
The
start
solution
it.
does exist.
Bullet
It's just you have
trains.
to.
The solution.
The
for
solution
traffic exists.
does
Bullet trains.
The
That
solu-
is
public transit. Public transit is the solution.
Yeah, we've got
Walkable
we've
cities
gone
is
around
the
in
solution.
circles before. I agree. I'm a huge fan of public transportation. So is Elon. He's
No,
not-
he
No, he's
isn't.
not. Elon is not the government. Elon Musk is
He's not
incapable.
against public
Elon,
Yes, he is.
Elon Musk
No,
is
he's
incapable of bringing about public
my.
transportation because he is not the government.
He also
He is a private individual
He also-
who has vested private interests in trying to mimic public transportation, but in a way that will benefit him and not like people who would use public transportation.
Right. You guys are so absorbed with the thought that he is so self-absorbed.
he is.
Because he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay,
is
yeah.
so is Bezos.
It's just I know that's the argument you guys always fall back to. But back to the solar panels, he revolutionized that industry,
How?
like very cleanly. Okay,
What company?
Solar City,
Still haven't heard of it.
right? So solar panels, right? You know what they look like on a house, right?
I'm familiar
You
with
got
solar
like
panels,
the grid-looking things on the top of the house that are mounted to the house. Well, he has established a company that makes every shingle on your roof a solar panel. So it's
Okay.
so much more of a sleek, modern design, and it takes advantage of your whole roof. Overall, it's like 1,000,000 times better, and he,
Is it
revolutionized the industry. Yeah, he does it well. It's
You have to pay them over 20 years.
How much does it cost?
Yeah,
It's a
essentially you
monthly
can install
payment.
for free. And then I don't know exactly how it costs, but I know there's so many problems with getting it supplied. There was a project I had in New York that we were trying to get for.
So the thing is, they put the solar panels on your roof and then sell you the electricity that you are producing with your house.
So they essentially own your roof,
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing.
That might be the business model of it. But
Do you want-
aesthetically,
do you want
it's so-
Elon
Oh
Musk
my
to own
god! Just
But
because it's
the product,
aesthetically pleasing.
the product is revolutionary.
You realize other solar panels,
You get
they
that-
pay you for creating electricity for the rest of the area.
But you...
Right, if you produce that much electricity.
You do with
do.
the solar panels. They pay you money for having the solar panels on your roof. Elon is saying, you pay me for the electricity you are getting from the solar panels I put on your roof.
I put the solar panels on your roof and I own the electricity.
Yeah.
You have to pay me for the electricity.
So he's just trying to own the grid.
Okay, hold on. That reminded me. Did you say that Elon wanted to create a company town out in Texas?
That wouldn't be shocked. Yes. Wouldn't be shocked.
Oh, man. What
It's
if
actually on
He,
Mars.
he also had a factory that was called The Plantation, and it had black people working there.
Of course, dude.
Because he's South African.
It's heritage, not hate, brother. Come on. What are you talking about? That's just we're getting back to tradition. Come on now.
So have you always hated Elon?
I've never had a reason to like him.
Right.
There's no
so you didn't
billionaire that I
know
would
about
truly
him
like.
until everybody hated him.
I've been familiar with Elon Musk for several years, yeah. Probably since like around high school. I'd say around like high school, when we were in high school, is like when Tesla started to become like more mainstream.
Yep.
So I would say like around then. He was lame then, he's still lame now.
Where is Tesla trucks?
The Cybertruck?
Oh yeah, like do you not have an
Awesome
issue with like
prototypes.
Elon promising you things and then just never delivering on the promises? Like the Cybertruck or the
I
Roadster.
mean, they're still coming out, right? They're supposed to come out later this year.
I'm sure he said that, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Weren't they supposed to come out last year though?
You can't
And the year
Probably
before
so.
that? And like a couple months before that?
Yeah.
Remember at the Tesla show, he had the
said
Cybertruck?
it was unbreakable. and
Bulletproof went
fucking
down.
threw it through the glass.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
you can't forget it,
that is a perfect encapsulation of Elon Musk. Grandiose promises, bullshit results. That is Elon Musk.
Oh, you guys are so... It's so sad, honestly.
Is it? Are you just sad?
How?
Are you
How
just
do you
sa-
suck a billionaire's dick?
Are you just sad? Are you just
Because
sad
he's
that
saying
we're
he can't
right?
deliver, but he's like revolutionized.
No, I didn't say
the
can't
rocket.
deliver. I said he doesn't deliver.
All right, so
He's gonna
he
keep
doesn't
telling
deliver.
you that it's gonna happen. Amen. It's definitely coming out this year.
All right, so
It's not.
man.
It's never coming out.
And even if it does, it still looks like shit.
And even if it does come out, it doesn't matter if it's shit, because he's getting all of his money from government subsidies, and
What are all the
carbon credit.
companies
Carbon
you
credit.
have?
He sells carbon credits. That's like
I don't know
another
what
one.
that is.
Carbon credits is like a system that was supposed to incentivize
Companies not
companies not to
use
pollute as
carbon,
much.
yeah.
But since Elon's company is electric based, they have a lot of carbon credits that they don't have to use. So you know what they do? They sell those carbon credits to other companies. So now the other companies have more carbon credits, they can pollute more.
Right.
So he's not making his bread and butter from selling cars made of paper mache that are also
No, he has a
electric.
legitimate car business.
Dude, if you get like a fender bender with your Tesla, it's totaled.
Dude, are you telling me you don't want a Tesla?
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Not at all.
I want an electric
I think
car. not a
Tesla's
Tesla.
like the only like fun brand left.
It's an iPhone that you can drive. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
more
not a car.
computer than car. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, like, if you get like the most minor of accidents, they will tow it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
I want an electric car. I just don't want a Tesla.
Oh right. So you're gonna go with what brand?
I don't know, an actual car manufacturer, probably.
Okay.
Like Volkswagen, I don't know.
Yeah.
Volkswagen,
I can't
Honda.
imagine their electric cars
Shit,
are
I'd take a
anywhere
Prius.
to the standards that Teslas are, but
What do you mean, dog? Like a couple months ago, they had to like they have to recall like almost all their Tesla. It's happened like more than once that they've had to recall like a significant majority of the Teslas that are out there because of like some like software defect. That doesn't happen with Volkswagens. Doesn't happen with Hondas. Doesn't really happen with any other electric cars. It seems to only
Software
happen with
defects?
Teslas.
no, they're definitely people get
It's
called.
the
out for
auto
software.
driving stuff. That's
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about like Elon's self-driving cars that are like
But any kind of
ruthlessly
software-
mow down children.
yeah.
that are
Software
crossing
updates they don't have to take in anywhere. They can do themselves. That's
No,
part of the
software,
leisure of it.
but there's a difference between software issues and software updates.
Yeah, software updates and
updates
software
you can
defects.
do yourself. On the
Updates
Teslas.
you can. Software issues you gotta take care of.
Defects, like if your car has a defect, then they recall it because it's no longer safe for you to drive.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Teslas are safe to drive.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't- I
Crazy
just-
controversial
I just
there.
don't- I just don't
Whoa.
get
I don't
why you
understand.
love them. I
yeah,
just
I
don't
don't
get
understand
it.
why you're so insistent on like defending your
Nobody's
Lord's
inspired
honor.
me more by There's not a figure like that
Are you
want,
telling
to be
me you
honest.
wouldn't have been doing this regardless of him? You probably would have done this regardless of him. You've always wanted to own
Yeah.
your own business.
That's true. He's definitely an inspiration, though. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Did Elon Musk create Tesla?
He was one of the original founders.
No, he was not.
He was there before the name was Tesla.
No, he was.
Yes,
he was. He was not one of the founders.
He was there before the name
He
was
was
Tesla.
not
So
one of the
that doesn't
founders.
make him a founder?
No.
No, if there's a company before.
The two dudes who founded it are the founders. They hired him to be the CEO after he got run out of PayPal, but
Bought out.
Run out, yeah. I would say run out. But getting bought out means it was like a mutual thing. They've said they fired him.
Alexa, was Elon Musk an original founder of Tesla?
From mentalfloss.com. Elon Musk is not an original Tesla founder.
oh no! Are you telling me that your glorious king and savior is not the founder of Tesla, like he would have you believe?
I know, because this has been brought up before, and yeah, I guess, yeah, I am wrong in my verbiage there. He's not an original founder, but he is like ridiculously early in the
he's not an
company.
original founder,
I
but
think-
he would have you believe that he is.
I don't think the company would exist today without him.
Good.
Okay, so that just points out to the influential role he's played at Tesla.
A bad influence, yes.
Yeah, a terrible influence to make it one of the most successful car companies.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
not successful.
Bro, they don't, like, when it comes to car sales, they don't come anywhere close to, like, actual car manufacturers. They just
Doesn't
don't.
say they're not successful.
Correct.
Not as if it in terms of like selling cars. No, no, they are not. In comparison to like GE or any insert any other actual car manufacturer whose company is valued as a car manufacturer and not as a tech company, they are producing leagues more cars than Elon Musk is, selling them, I should say.
So what should we go by, like stock price?
His stock price is hella inflated. Do you know
Yeah.
why it's hella inflated?
You can go-
because
you
he
can go-
makes grandiose promises and never delivers.
I can go into the finance numbers on that one. All this shit is messed up. Like his PE ratio, like
Yeah, I don't know the ranking system of top car companies, but I'm telling you, he's got to be up
the
there.
stock price of Tesla makes no sense according to all financial things. So everybody thinks
Because
it
it's
will fall.
not valued as
It's not
a car
valued
company.
based on that.
It's valued like a tech company.
Well, it's definitely an easy argument to say.
And then
it is a
Elon
tech
also
company.
wanted to privatize it, so then it would be off the stock market. He doesn't even have to mention how many cars he sells. I mean, all Elon wants to do is privatize companies, so then he can make all the money he wants.
That's all he wants to do.
I mean, it is. I mean, yes.
Yeah, forget all that going to Mars stuff. He doesn't care. He just wants money.
Okay.
Okay, but like even going to Mars
You just reduce him down to such a simple-minded person.
because he is. It's
He's
so
one of the most
easy to
complex
reduce him.
minds of our time, easily. That's an easy
God,
argument. He's in
dude.
history books already. He's still alive.
Yeah, he's in the history. He's in the history books for, you know, having a hell of a spawn point, and then making it. I mean, like when you have the spawn point that he had, like it's not that hard to make it big. You know, when Daddy has the big bucks, it's not that difficult to make
You
something
can
of yourself.
try to undersell it, but I'm not gonna buy it.
We know, but that's the issue.
Yeah, that's
It's not like you guys have taken into consideration any points that I've made.
because
I-
the points that you have made do not refute the points that we're making.
You just say you look up to him. You don't like. I mean,
No, I've pointed out many ways he's revolutionized different industries.
but I went
You
and
guys
looked at the
all-
solar panel stuff.
Right.
He's charging for the
So
electricity.
you
He's just
disagree-
taking over the
you-
grid.
Yeah, you disagree with the business strategy of it. I point out how the product is revolutionary because it's a product unlike any other option on the market, and that's just where the conversation is.
It's unlike any other.
don't-
It's unlike any other product on the market because of the way that you have to acquire it, because you have to pay him for the electricity.
No,
Pay him
it's
over
the-
20 years.
It's a product unlike any other product on the market is because he
Bro,
brought
there's
in a
solar
new
panels on
product.
the market.
And also, the government does subsidize for you putting other solar panels on your roof.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
not like common. Like it's pretty common for like that to be
Right,
kind
and
of free.
you know what people do? People tuck away their solar panels as far away as they can because they're all ugly, right? I've literally designed these solar panels that are on the back shed, that are on the back of the pool house, anywhere where you can stick them where they're not going to be seen because people hate them. But the product that he has made and that he offers looks in a very sleek, modern style.
but
It's
that fits
aesthetically
into the
pleasing, but
architecture.
think about what you have to do to get it. You bought some shingles from him to put on your roof, and then you have to pay him to have access to electricity. So he is just inserting, instead of like you paying a utility company for your electricity, you're just paying Elon, and you're probably paying him more than you would pay a utility.
Can't imagine
also
that's the case.
also being aesthetically pleasing, like for example, other
Don't undervalue it because it's such a
other solar panels, even if they're not aesthetically pleasing, they pay you for the extra electricity you don't use.
Yeah, but
So you're getting paid compared to having to pay.
the most people that have solar panels don't produce enough solar. for
That's not the
even
point,
themselves.
They don't have that choice with Elon. They're never gonna have,
Right.
they're never gonna have that possibility. At least like maybe not everybody who has solar panels is making a little bit on top of that. Not everybody.
No,
they're
nobody is.
not like every solar panel electricity generation is going to be the same because it depends on how many fucking solar panels there are. But like you're never gonna have that opportunity with Elon.
Most people that install solar panels are required to, and they install them to the minimum because they're expensive to install.
So
And
the shingles would also be expensive to install. And then on
no,
top
he
of
he will install.
Also,
them
I
for
can't
free.
imagine the maintenance that goes with shingles, because there is a lot of maintenance with solar panels in general. So your whole roof being a solar panel, like imagine hail hits that shit.
Yeah, I think they've designed for that, but I mean they're not gonna shatter, But
He said that about the truck's window.
yeah, I knew you were gonna point that out.
Are you familiar with what the ad hoc fallacy is?
Nope.
It's the idea that no matter what evidence you might be presented, you will always find a way to somehow salvage your point, even if it is not salvageable. I think that's what you might be doing. I don't think it's...
I'm not gonna say his business model is great because this is me learning about the business model behind Solar City, right? I'm inspired by the product of it, right?
And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that than being inspired by a specific product.
Yeah.
But I think you overestimate just how much Elon was involved with that.
Yeah, I think you guys
Like,
underestimate
maybe
how involved he is.
Okay, what do you think he's like for Tesla, for instance? Like what do you think he does for Tesla? Or SpaceX?
I think he was
whichever one.
definitely involved in the early design phases in the organization of
He's
all
not
the
an engineer.
computing elements. He acts as an engineer for sure.
But he's not an engineer. He might act as one.
Right, so he does the job of an engineer.
But he's not an engineer.
He'll identify himself as an engineer, yes.
That doesn't make you an engineer. I can identify as an engineer. Does that make me an engineer?
Have you done engineering shit?
I identify as an engineer.
No.
Does that make me an engineer?
Just like if you said you were a girl. I'm sorry, you're not a girl.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
So now there goes to his actual point of transgender.
Yeah.
That will get you canceled.
I'll say it. There's two genders. Just
There isn't two
Let's,
genders.
I want to get back to dunking on Elon. Okay. Elon is not designing the cars. He has people who are doing that for him, and then he takes the credit for that. That's just like how. That's not specific to Elon. That's just
I
how
think he helped
companies work.
design the organization of how the car operates. Yeah. I think he was very hands-on in that whole process.
He's not hands-on with anything. The only thing he's hands-on with is like
The media.
making huge promises and like trying to get like.
You think he sits in bed and is just on Twitter all day?
Not just social media, the media. Like he makes a lot of TV, like the reason you know his company isn't as successful is because he is on TV all the time talking about
How it's
he's-
definitely successful
Yeah.
and like
like I hate Bezos, I do, but you don't really see him on TV that often because Amazon is just successful. I fucking hate the business model. It's horrible on the employees.
I mean the business
But-
model is just like
Oh, it's
monopolization.
making him shit ton
it's
of money.
just monopolization.
But it's just he doesn't
Yeah,
have
I
to
heard
go
he's
on to
gonna
those
try
shows.
to take on the pharmaceutical industry.
No, that was Mark Cuban.
No, it's Bezos.
Cuban's winning
Do
the
it.
war.
I think that
I
like
think Bezos is a bigger threat to
if
it,
you
be
want to
honest.
like
But Cuban has been doing the whole like he tells you how it's not GoodRx.
Yeah, what is that company called? I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he tells you how much each
It's like
part
Good Green.
costs, and everything is less. Like he's charging way less for like diabetes medication, insulin.
Yeah, like hundreds of dollars cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean insulin like
Oh, that's a better billionaire to look up to. Look up to Mark Cuban. He's better.
Yeah, why would you not
he's
look up to
funnier.
Mark Cuban?
He's
Yeah,
funny.
I got a
he's
great-
actually funny.
I got a great picture with Mark Cuban.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a Big Red Liquors and
He also knows when to get rid of
Bloomington.
He also knows when to get rid of a shit company. He sold his company. That's what made him a billionaire, and that company went under like 2 years after. It was like Yahoo bought it or something,
I think so, yeah.
and Yahoo canned it after like 2 years after buying it for $1 billion.
I get out. When the
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's a better person to look up to. There you go. I found a billionaire for you to look
He's
up.
not inspiring though,
Why not?
because
He's actually doing better for the world. He's like doing something that, you know, medicine's already privatized, so he's making healthcare better by making it cheaper for
that
people.
is very admirable. I mean that company.
There we go.
But he's
I
definitely.
got him.
Oh, you're not gonna sell me more on Mark Cuban than Elon Musk. I'm not a fan of Mark Cuban. I'm a huge fan. I'm the only one here with a picture with him. You know? But like he's not as inspirational to me because I don't credit him with coming up with those revolutionary ideas. I think he is more of a business person behind it. Or I think Elon really is that hands-on and pushes the designs and his team to produce the best result.
I don't even. I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on
Yeah,
Elon.
we're not going to agree. I think we've all got to know that. Unless you want to come over to the Elon bandwagon.
I would sooner jump in front of
thank you.
a self-driving Tesla than agree that Elon is.
Hey, don't you worry. Elon got your back. It'll stop.
Oh, I'm sure it will, dog. Just when the Cybertruck comes out and then the Roadster, yeah.
Yeah. No,
It'll happen right after that.
Roadster.
Yeah.
Oh, that was his original.
Like
Right?
the sports car, yeah.
I had
Still
misinterpretation. I was thinking of a motorcycle when you said Roadster, and I was like, that's not correct.
Elon hasn't promised a motorcycle yet.
All
He
right.
probably will.
Hey,
'Cause that's
to
his
getting
fan
canceled.
base. You're alone on that
Yeah,
one,
no,
sir.
that's just you. That's just you, dog.
I hate that people are afraid to like talk and have conversations and whatnot, and so yeah, I'm gonna try to speak my mind for sure, you know. And the things that I have, I think, a good perspective on, I'm gonna voice it, you know. That's all I'm gonna say, man, you know.
Just drink the beer. Just drink the beer.
That's what I'm doing.
You're not gonna convince him.
You know what? I need a beer. After like so
Yeah,
much
that's why I
talking
went to
about-
go get him.
After so much talking about Elon, I do need a beer.
That's why I grabbed him.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
what an inspirational man, you know.
Oh, good God.
I mean, at least there
Elon
is somebody
is just
that.
Elon is just a modern day steak oil salesman.
He reminds me of Rockefeller back in the 40s.
Dude, he wishes he was Rockefeller.
Yeah,
Are you
but
kidding me?
but Rockefeller, the whole goal was just to make a shit ton of money. He didn't care what he had to do to it.
I know.
So
Elon wishes he was
that's the
Rockefeller.
point. I mean, but they were both. I would say they're both shitty people. They will make money without regard for anything.
Oh yeah.
They're not trying to improve anything.
I mean, capitalism is not obligated to care.
Oh no, this was another argument we had. This was episode 1.
About
what? Capitalism. I said capitalism, isn't the same anymore. There's 3 big companies in any industry you look at, and like nobody can really get
I mean,
percent.
like, because that's the point.
Oh.
Like, you're supposed to like steadily, incrementally build towards monopolization. And like
Correct.
we used to break up monopoly. There was a
I know.
time
AT&T
where we used to
got
break up monopoly.
AT&T got broke up heavily
not
because it stops innovation. So yes, we had multiple discussions, and I said the American dream isn't a thing anymore. That was a whole nother debate because he's like, oh, you can come to the U.S. and like,
not if you're brown.
that's what I said.
If you have a this kind of complexion, then yeah, it's like the Family Guy cutaway with like the color blotter card. Yeah, it's like that. It's like if you go to like the Mexican border, they're gonna hold that up and be like, hate to break it to you, but no, you don't pass the test. Sorry.
He was asking about the others, so I was telling him, we had multiple discussions about different things.
About the other podcast?
Yeah, let's talk about like why capitalism is bad.
Or why it's good.
Oh, good God.
Why it's in...
But opening the conversation with
explain
why
to
is
me,
it bad is particularly biased.
Explain to me
that's
how...
That's another thing that Tucker Carlson will always do. That he'd always start a conversation like super like he would ask a question that's very like...
All right, so you're doing the same strategy.
Explain to me how capitalism is not predatory. Or explain to me how...
It is predatory.
Explain... Okay. And why is that good?
People are innately predatory. You do not want to own things.
Capitalism stops innovation.
No, it doesn't stop it.
It slows it.
It doesn't
encourage
It slows it down. We can agree on that. But it doesn't stop innovation.
Heavily discourages.
You could argue that it actually motivates innovation because you can't use the same solution because it is patented.
It's not even about patents. It's about like a percentage share of the market.
Yeah.
Like
you know how we could act.
Like if I want to sell something right now, I would have to be on Amazon. There's like no chance. I have to be on the first page of Amazon. Who gets like they have the monopoly of the seller's market now.
Yeah.
But like, what about all the shops that aren't on Amazon?
Nobody goes to those.
Yeah, they're fucked. They're absolutely.
It's kind of like
fucked.
How often do you use Bing?
Bing?
Yeah.
Not very often.
Exactly.
I got.
When you think of like, when you think
Jesus, I forgot you did that. Yeah.
I won't believe Bing stock
because AI, they're supposedly good at it. I don't know.
They just
I don't know
have
about
a better outlook on AI than most media.
Yeah, that's Google, right?
Google has not terrible, but they have
Google has their own.
Not as a progressive view of AI.
Google will buy Bing's AI before
Google actually like.
Put it out.
Did you see that like
that's the point.
The
that's
guy who was
Bing
like the head of like Google's AI team, who was like the godfather of AI, like resigned.
Yeah.
And he said that like he kind of regretted his life's work because like he's worried.
Just like the guy that made the nuke.
Yeah.
I don't know why I pointed that out.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, his whole argument was if we didn't do it, the Germans would do it.
Right. I don't know. AI definitely scary, but I think there's avenues of AI that probably should be limited. Like people are definitely going to be lost
but
in
the issue is right.
Virtual
the
reality.
U.S. is so slow on making laws to actually like stop things from happening. Like, like the EU.
If you want regulation,
the EU's already working on regulations for AI because they know shit's about to happen.
Have you seen the
like
AI streamers?
Oh yeah, there's one that got caught on like OnlyFans. They created a fake person on OnlyFans and we're making like.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, for
like
sure.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I bet.
But for example, right, in France,
And it's a bot. It's a
Yeah,
bot
yeah.
that just responds to text
chat
chats.
bot.
well, no, on
Yeah,
top, on
but
top
it's
of the
also animated.
AI
on top of the
generated
text chats,
images.
AI generated images of like a naked woman.
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah.
It's-
Not animated. It's like actually like, you know, it looks
Looks like a real
realistic.
person,
but
but, like-
well, there's streamers right now that it's not even a real person.
they animate.
The
Yeah.
entire stream is an animated bot that is very like I don't
Voice is
know.
different, probably.
Yeah, just trying to be cute anime like,
Yeah.
you know, and just responds to chat
Yeah.
and
That's
acts
weird.
But
as a anime girl,
but-
and it's creepy.
But
for sure.
for example, right, like we didn't like do anything to stop tech companies from doing what they do. Like Apple, you know, they kind of phase out phones if they're older in the U.S. France sued them and stopped them from doing it in France. Like they can't make software updates that make your phone go slower.
yeah, seems
compared
like
to
we
the
should do
US.
that shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Well,
have to be on top of what's
Don't make
happening.
self-destructing products. That seems pretty.
But it's just like AI, right? It's the great unknown, but you gotta start making laws now. Because if you don't make laws, this is gonna go.
And another thing about AI is that like there's starting to be more and more like AI language
Large,
like
large
massive
language
like
models, LLM.
yeah and those are large like and there's AI that are being like not programmed by humans but like AI that are programming other AI like you know how
Well,
you do
it
when
all
like
depends on the neuro database or the the data set that it's using as the
That's
basis.
Which can also be still racist. The
Oh,
Well,
database.
yeah.
that's a huge problem
Yeah.
with it because like I use the text to image AI often, and it's a stable diffusion, but it's innately biased to whatever's most popular on the internet. But you get some horrible results from that because like if you were to just do, I haven't done this, but I've heard because there is warnings because you are just generating images. Like supposedly if you were to just do the word Asian because there is so much pornography on the internet in that kind of category that it will just defaultly
generate
give
porn.
you nudity, which is so innately like
was also a
wrong
thing,
to
like,
start with just the input.
Yeah.
like I think I remember a thing from
Asian.
like last year there was like an AI bot that they gave like a Twitter account.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, it became like.
Yeah, and like within 24 hours, people made it like racist.
Yeah, I did see that.
All it
went
took
down,
was, like-
it went down like a
all it
real
took,
rabbit
yeah,
hole.
all
real
it took
quick
was
or
like
something.
24 hours of just like people feeding it just like the most bigoted things you can think of, and then it was saying things like we need to do something about the Jews or like something like that.
Yeah. It can go south really quickly, which is the problem with the AI, is it can get carried away, especially on the autonomous. Like, if it's posting autonomously, there's a Twitter account that I used to follow that I stopped following because, it was called @drawthistweet. And so what you would do is if you would, to find a tweet, you could comment or reply to the tweet and just @drawthistweet. And then a bot would use that tweet to create a text to image, like 3 images, 4 images, and then tweet back at you. Which is like,
Crazy.
it's so wild. But
That's
it did it
insane.
on one, and it kind of had some nudity, and I was like, all right, this is too gray. I gotta unfollow this.
Don't get me wrong. Like AI has some definite perks, but it just has to be regulated. Like you can't just let it.
Right, but do you know like how
Brother, if you're
how
hoping
to say
for
that?
regulation,
Not in the US. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Everywhere
happen.
but the
But
US.
it needs to.
People are definitely scared. Like I saw Biden today was commenting like there was some kind
Like
of meeting.
I think the language ones are really cool. Like being
They're all
able to
language.
like being able to like translate languages like that, like translating a full paragraph like that, and actually being grammatically accurate compared to Google Translate.
yeah.
Like, I mean, helps connect
Yeah,
people.
that's the thing.
I mean-
and it is an extremely powerful tool.
It has the
can't
capacity to be like an objectively good thing.
Right, so you can't just deny the public access to this technology.
I'm
because
not saying deny it. I'm just saying.
So how we regulate the tools that result from the AI is probably where the regulation has to come in, right? Like,
yeah, correct. Like,
so what do we say gets regulated here? Like, how does
one
this happen?
you have to regulate data sets to make sure they're
Yeah.
diverse in like population and gender.
Oh, but you start manipulating the data set, then it's just producing your result, you know.
But diversifying a data set helps get a more equal, more even picture.
Complete.
Makes a more complete picture of what they're looking for. Like, they had issues with the medical. There's a medical one that was actually doing really well on finding. I want to say it was like cancer, like kidney cancer or something. I don't remember what cancer. Don't quote me. But they were struggling with black people because they didn't have the data set properly, so they were misdiagnosing for darker people to just all have cancer when they didn't.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just
Well,
like
some
imagine
pretty
if an AI
obvious
imagine if
flaws
an
for sure.
AI told you have cancer and then you don't actually.
but
Yeah, you shouldn't go for any sort of medical advice. Even though I definitely went to it to like I don't want to die.
I mean, but at the same point, AI could easily be like a better version of WebMD. Like, people go to WebMD for the stupidest shit.
That's why I bought a stock in Bing, is because Bing is more, I think, forward thinking in terms of like how it can be incorporated into a search engine. Google's definitely taking steps in the right direction with Bard, but I think that's kind of the.
Remember when Google did the
result.
Google Glass thing? And then it fucking failed straight on their
I
face.
don't know what that
They had like glasses.
It was like the Snapchat glasses, like before the Snapchat glasses.
Shit, I forgot they got them
I
too
didn't know
now.
Snapchat had glasses.
Yeah.
It was after the Google glasses failed, Snapchat was like, we could definitely make this work.
They're owned by Twitter.
That was pre-Elon Musk, though. As much as I would love to credit that to Elon being terrible, I can't. Which is a real shame.
I think they owned it. Yeah. Snapchat got bought by Twitter. I thought Snapchat got bought by Twitter. For $1 billion?
Did it get bought by Facebook?
No, Facebook's Instagram.
Facebook is Instagram. Well,
Who owns Snapchat?
Meta, not Facebook.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They had to change.
Meta,
Everything
who is
fucked
definitely not associated with ethnic cleansing in Myanmar. Facebook, possibly.
Oh, I'm
Meta?
sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
It's not Snapchat. It's Snap Incorporated. They've changed the name.
Oh. I knew.
Yeah.
Snapchat's kind of the worst of it all when it comes to like the short clips content.
Dude, okay.
They're all
Do you know how
bad.
to?
They're
Is
all
there a
bad.
way?
They're all terrible.
Is
They're
there a
all
way?
the
So
worst.
Snapchat is bad, but
Is there
they're
a way to get
all
rid of
bad.
like the Snapchat AI? Because like I don't want it.
I don't
on
have
anything.
it. I don't know.
I
how
don't
everybody
want it.
has
Have you seen the one
But I
though
don't
where
have it.
some guy tried to have the AI not respond, so he just keeps saying bye, and then the AI keeps responding to him, and he just keeps going.
Or have you seen the ones where like they'll like message the AIs like tell me
The
like,
closest.
do you have
to me.
access to my location?
Yeah.
And it says no. It says where's the closest target, and then it tells you where it is.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So you do have access
Yeah,
to my location.
Yeah.
How could you know where the
Scary
closest
part.
target is if you don't have
know.
access to my location?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is definitely a little concerning for sure. All right, should we wrap up?
Yeah, I think it's probably
It's
a good
probably
time.
a good time to do the
Yeah.
intro.
How
All
long,
right.
How long have we been going?
Couple
About
hours.
2.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we did.
All right. So, the Friends with Differences podcast.
Woo!
Sam,
What a time.
thank you for coming on.
Hold on. I
It
got
is. It has
I got
been a truly enriching experience. I came in with no expectations
Yeah.
because you did not give me something to expect. However, this was productive.
We're just hanging out again.
This is good.
Oh.
Yeah,
We're
thanks
solving the
for
world's
coming on.
problems, and hopefully one day I will turn your opinion on Elon
Oh yes, we talked about Elon Musk
Yeah.
for
for a long
while.
time.
Transgender people in sports and rights in general.
Yeah.
AI. We talked about a little
AI,
bit of AI.
which I again, still don't know much about. I learn very little, slowly and gradually.
But that's just part of the human experience, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, one step at a time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know it all. I don't know it all.
Nobody can know it all, but like
I think
you just
that's-
gotta be willing to learn.
I think that's it. We really stayed on very few topics this time. We didn't jump as much as we usually
I think
do.
we need to do a whole episode dedicated to like changing Evan's mind about Iran.
You could try all you fucking
That's what
want.
these past 7
Yeah.
episodes.
yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. You know, there'll always be differences we can fall back on.
that's why we're here at Friends
Yep.
with Differences.
Yep. And
All
with
right.
that,
Well, cheers.
Friends with differences.